Hello, high-level listeners. Welcome to video 3 of our review videos with the added bonus of fast-paced dialogues to help you improve your listening and your speaking skills with naturally spoken English. We've got scripts from Season 1 of our Advanced Vocabulary podcast episodes just to refresh your memory, and we're adding more conversational English to show you how to speak better and faster with that same vocabulary in real life. If you've joined us as a member on YouTube, you'll get the PDF transcript to go with this video. And if you've downloaded our Season 1 study pack, you'll also receive these ad-free videos so that you can download with special listening activities, extra MP3s, and even more. So get more information in the description below. Now, with a quick intro, hi there, everyone. I'm Kat, the American voice on high-level listening.
I'm Mark, the British voice. And together we make high-level listening, which is supposed to be a fun and interesting way to take your intermediate and advanced level English to the next level with real English and real conversations from two teachers from different parts of the world. As Kat mentioned, these reviews are based on Season 1 of our Advanced English podcast. It was such a fun project to make, so if you're really new to our channel, I would recommend looking at those previous 20 episodes first, then coming back here to these videos as a review and for some extra practice.
So here's what we'll be doing in these kind of review videos. We'll read our scripts from the original episodes. Then you can listen to a fast-paced dialogue between the both of us. After that, just like normal, we'll break down the conversation, focusing on pronunciation, connected speech, blending, speaking tips, listening tips, and more.
Okay, so let's start reviewing. Here are our scripts from episode 9. Episode 9 was about going out to dinner with friends, and Kat will go first with her American script.
I love getting together and going out to eat with our close friends. We usually pick some place everyone likes, maybe a new burger or a pizza place. Usually we like to start with some apps for the table, then for our entrees or main course, each person orders whatever they want. There's usually a lot of choice in American restaurants. We can't always resist something sweet for dessert, but usually I'm stuffed. When the check comes, it's pretty common to just split it evenly or just pay for what we ordered. So Mark will go ahead with his second script in more of a British style.
When I go out for dinner with my mates, it's always a good laugh. We rarely go anywhere fancy, so we usually end up in our local pub or a nice spot that we all know and like. First, we get some starters and nibble on them while we chat about what's been going on with us. Then we order our mains. I often go for classic stuff like fish and chips or a pie. We don't always do dessert because we're usually stuffed after the main course. And then at the end of the meal, we tend to split the bill. It's just easier that way.
Now, if this was your first time here on High Level Listening, don't worry if you didn't understand all of the vocabulary from the scripts. These are reviews from our Season 1, Episode 9, and you can find all the vocabulary and expressions in better detail in that episode.
So now we're on to the naturally spoken, fast-paced dialogue connected to this topic. The conversation we're going to have would be fairly common between two friends, roommates, or even a couple deciding where to go out for dinner. The first listen will not have any captions on screen, but see how much you can understand.
You want to meet up sometime this week? Could grab dinner or something?
Yeah, that sounds nice. Should we just meet at our local?
Haven't been there in a while. Do they still have that big appetizer platter we can all split?
Yeah, of course. I'm not ordering a main this time. I was ridiculously stuffed last time.
Yeah, well, I'm still getting their dessert. I can't resist a good cheesecake.
Okay, so how much did you catch? If that was really hard, don't worry. We're now going to break down the conversation line by line to help you get better at listening to native speed English. Kat started the dialogue, so you can go through your first line and give us some tips.
Want to meet up sometime this week? Could grab dinner or something. So the very first word, wanna meet up, that is, do you want to meet up? So we've dropped the do you, And we've just used the word wanna for want to. Wanna meet up? Wanna do this? Wanna meet up sometime this week? Meet up changes to meet up. Meet up. Sometime. Now, be careful with this word. It's not sometimes. Sometime. This is some unknown time in the future. Sometime. The second sentence, could grab dinner or something. Could grab dinner or something. Could is just a little extra word. So we say could. Could grab dinner or something. Could grab dinner or something. And of course, or something. I have a question at the end, so my voice goes up. Could grab dinner or something? What about you, Mark?
Yeah, that sounds nice. Should we just meet at our local? So, yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah and that connect here to become yeah that. Yeah that. Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah, that sounds nice. So that, the noise of my tongue, I don't use it. The TH sounds more like a D. Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah, that sounds nice. Should we just meet at our local? Should we just? Should, like Kat said, could, it really shortens and it connects to the next word. Should we? Should we? Should we? The D is completely gone. Should we just meet? Should we just meet? You notice that the T at the end of just also disappears. Should we just meet at our local? Should we just meet at our local? Final tip, our local. I'm British, I'm talking about our local pub or local restaurant. Our becomes our. Our. So our local. Should we just meet at our local? How did you reply to that, Kat? What's your next line?
Oh, yeah. Haven't been there in a while. Do they still have that big appetizer platter we can all split? Haven't been there in a while. Haven't been there. Haven't been there in a while. We dropped the subject there. We haven't. I haven't. We all haven't. Haven't been there in a while. Haven't. It almost sounds like instead of have not or haven't, haven't. It almost sounds like Havinn, haven't. Haven't been there in a while. Now, been there. Instead of been, that sounds very British to me. And when we say it quickly anyway, we say been. Haven't been there in a while. 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 Do they still have that big appetizer platter? We can all split. We can, I think this is really difficult in American English. We can changes to we can. We can. Because the word can is not really important, the more important word is split, the verb, the most important word. So we can all split. We can all split. We can all split. We can all split. All right, what about you, Mark?
Quickly, to defend England, when we say been, when we say it quickly, also gets shortened to been.
I said we all do that.
Oh.
I said we all shorten it, but the word bean really does sound British to me. I said that.
I see. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant America. And I was like, well, we do it too. We, the English speakers.
Everybody does it.
Okay.
Everybody does it. You're okay. You're okay, British.
Fair. Okay, good. Phew.
Phew.
Okay, so my next line was, of course, but I'm not ordering a main this time. I was ridiculously stuffed last time. So a very common phrase, of course. Of course. Maybe you can hear it already. O-F. Of, the F changes to a V. Of course. Of course. And it's really not even an O. It's not of course. It's an of. Of. Of course. Yeah, of course. But I'm not ordering a main this time. In previous reviews, we've talked about how the ing, the G, disappears. That happened here too. I'm not ordering a main. Ordering. Ordering. The G isn't there. I'm not ordering a main this time. I was ridiculously stuffed last time. Ridiculously, I'm going to add a bit of stress to this word, and the stress is on the second syllable, ridiculously. Ridiculously. I'm saying I was very, very full. I was extremely full. I was ridiculously stuffed last time. So maybe I ate too much and I didn't feel good. I was ridiculously stuffed last time. Like just, the letter T at the end of last. The T disappears. Last time. Last time. The T is coming from the word time, not last. So last time. So, of course. But I'm not ordering a main this time. I was ridiculously stuffed last time. And then what was the last line of the dialogue?
Yeah. Well, I'm still getting their dessert. I can't resist a good cheesecake. So, well, I'm still getting their dessert. I'm putting the emphasis on me because Mark mentioned, oh, he's not getting a lot of extra food because we have this big appetizer platter to share. But I want to. I'm still getting their dessert. I can't resist a good cheesecake. So we have a couple of words here. I cannot resist. Now, we talked a little bit earlier when we said we can all, we can. Now, how annoying is it that in American, when I say I can't resist, wait, you can resist or you cannot resist? This is very common. If I said I can resist, that means I can, yes. I can't resist, I can't. That extra emphasis is actually I cannot. So I know it's a little confusing. So hear it twice. Yes, I can resist. I can resist. I can resist. Number 2, no, I can't resist. I can't resist. That means I cannot. So just kind of get used to that, especially in American English, because it is very difficult for most listeners to hear the difference. But this is very common in American English. So the last bit, resist a good cheesecake. That T goes into the A, and we almost make it into one word, resista, resista, resist a good cheesecake. Resist a good, like that's a word on its own. Resist a good cheesecake.
I would say this is probably the word can and can't. It's one of the rare times where British English might be easier because I can and I can't. Can't. It becomes
You
a
even
very
say
long A.
the T at the end as well. We don't even say the T at the end of can, like I can't. I can't.
Right? So I'd say I can't resist a good cheesecake. I can't resist. So it's quite clearer, well, it's a completely different sound when we use can't. So one of the rare occasions where I think British English is a bit easier. Anyway, so we'll listen to the dialogue a second time, and it should be a little bit easier now that we've broken down each line. So let's hear it again.
Meet up sometime this week? Could grab dinner or something?
Yeah, that sounds nice. Should we just meet at our local?
Oh, yeah. Haven't been there in a while. Do they still have that big appetizer platter we can all split?
Yeah, of course. But I'm not ordering a main this time. I was ridiculously stuffed last time.
Yeah, well, I'm still getting their dessert. I can't resist a good cheesecake. All right, excellent job. Hopefully that was a little bit easier. Now, are you ready for some speaking practice? If you want to practice speaking, you can start by responding to my questions. We'll leave a short pause for you to respond, and don't worry, we'll leave the captions on for you. So I'll start and you'll say Mark's part. Want to meet up sometime this week? Could grab dinner or something? Oh, yeah. Haven't been there in a while. Do they still have that big appetizer platter we can all split? Yeah, well, I'm still getting their dessert. I can't resist a good cheesecake.
Okay, well done. Now it's your turn to ask the questions and start the conversation. So you'll start. The captions are ready for you. Let's go. Yeah, that sounds nice. Should we just meet at our local? Horse. But I'm not ordering a main this time. I was ridiculously stuffed last time. Very nice job. Remember, if you have our Season 1 study pack, you can get just the dialogues as a separate video. So if you want to listen to those dialogues again and again and again to improve your listening skills, those are included for this review and all the previous ones as well.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
The fast-paced dialogues, you've separated them
Yes.
out?
Yeah. The dialogues, you can get just the dialogues between me and you, and they are ready as a separate video. So you could download them or just listen to them and hear them again and again.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't even know if we need to cut that out. I was actually very intrigued.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I do,
All
I
right.
do a lot of editing.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
there's a
go.
lot of
Let's
stuff in
go.
there.
All right, well done, everybody. Let's move on to a review of the script from episode 10. So, season 1, episode 10 was about going out for drinks with friends. I will go first with my American script. So, let's go. If we don't have time for a full dinner, I do really like meeting our friends up for a drink somewhere like a nice bar or a quieter, more chilled out place, maybe with some live music. I think I'm getting older because I used to go out to the dive bars with the loud music more often, but now I don't really enjoy myself as much since I'd rather be in a place where I can actually talk to my friends. I'm a big fan of beer, so if there's a local beer on tap, I often opt for that. If I'm not really in a drinking mood, I probably still go out to meet up with my friends, but I just probably order a soft drink and sip on that instead. All right, so now Mark will read the second script that is more of a British style.
If we don't have time for a proper sit down meal, then I really enjoy catching up with my mates over a pint at a pub or a more lively spot, perhaps with a bit of live music. Although these days I think we're all getting on a bit, so we'd rather be nattering with each other somewhere quieter, where we can actually hear each other. I'm quite keen on ales, so if there's a local brew on tap, I'll likely go for that. But if I don't fancy anything alcoholic, I'm still up for going out and just sticking to lemonade or Coke and just enjoying the company.
All right, excellent. So, this is a review. So, if you're thinking, wow, I didn't really catch some of the vocabulary here, don't worry. We go into lots of detail in season 1, episode 10, and you can find all of the well explained vocabulary and expressions in that other video.
So now comes the naturally spoken, fast-paced dialogue associated with this script. I could see this, again, as a conversation between two friends who are out at a bar or a pub, chatting or maybe buying a round of drinks for each other. So, Cat begins.
I'm gonna grab the first round. Beer, wine, Coke.
Beer, please. Whatever they have on tap.
I'm not really drinking tonight, so I'll probably just grab a soda.
You think they'll have live music tonight? They did last weekend.
Yeah, for sure, but it gets kind of loud. Why don't you grab us a table outside so we can actually hear each other? Okay, so now let's break down the conversation, highlighting some of those interesting speaking and pronunciation tips. I started the dialogue, so here's my first line again. I'm gonna grab the first round. Beer, wine, Coke. I'm a grab. I'm a grab. I'm a grab. Is I am going to. I am going to. We could also say I'm gonna. These are two very common shortened versions of I am going to. I'm a grab, I'm a do, I'm gonna. I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna do. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit with listening and speaking practice. Then I just offered up some ideas: beer, wine, Coke. So I'm just giving them some options. Now, I do want to mention that the word Coke, especially where I'm from in Texas, Coke doesn't have to be Coca-Cola. It could be any type of pop or fizzy or soft drinks. So let's see what Mark says.
Beer, please. Whatever they have on tap. So Kat offered beer, wine, Coke. In the UK, soft drinks. A soft drink like a Coke. I asked for a beer. A beer, please. And if you're talking to friends, I don't have to say, can you get me a beer, please? Or I would like a beer, please. You don't have to say anything like that. We're talking to friends. So, beer, please. Whatever they have on tap. Whatever they have on tap. Whatever they have. This is a case where the T in whatever changes to a D when we say it quickly. Whatever. Whatever. Whatever they have on tap. Tap is where they pour the beer. Sometimes you have a selection of local brews or special ones. So the beer is on the tap. Whatever they have on tap. How did you reply to that one?
Really drinking tonight, so I'll probably just grab a soda. This is kind of filled with some interesting words here. So I am not really drinking tonight. Not really. Not really. We often drop this subject when we're speaking quite quickly, but I am not really. Not really. Not really. I've got the M from the I am, but it's very soft. Not really. Not really. You could just say not really drinking tonight as well. Could be very similar, but you'll hear that I am become an just a little bit. When I say I'm not really drinking tonight, the alcohol is implied. So if you don't drink alcohol, you don't have to use the word alcohol. You could say I'm not really drinking tonight. Meaning I'm not really drinking alcohol. It's not that I'm not having water, not having soda, not having anything. I'm not really drinking alcohol tonight. So I'll probably just grab a soda. Probably very commonly becomes prolly. Prolly. I even write this word when I'm texting my friends. Yeah, I'll probably do this. I will probably, I'll probably. I'll probably just grab a soda. Grab a. I've noticed that we've used the word grab about 5 or 6 times in the past dialogues and conversations. It's just such an easy word. I'll grab a soda. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, quick note on probably. Yeah, probably not. Probably. Yeah, again, we make that really short and mash it together. There's no B's in there. Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
okay,
probably, probably, and then it's just probably. It's just one single thing
Probably.
there.
Yeah, I'm so lazy. You think they'll have live music tonight? They did last weekend. So another example of native speakers being lazy is when we make questions, because you've maybe noticed that we remove a lot of these important question words they teach you at school. This is another example. You think they'll have live music? Do you think they'll have live music? You think they'll have live music? The do disappears. Again, we're talking very casually, so this is totally fine. You think they'll have live music? They will have. They'll have. It's 3 words connect here. They'll have. They will have live music. They'll have live music. You think they'll have live music tonight? Maybe more common in the British accent, the last letter on tonight is gone. Tonight, the T stops in my throat. You think they'll have live music tonight? They did last weekend. Again, the T at the end of last also disappears. So last weekend? Last weekend? You think they'll have live music tonight? They did last weekend. And what was the last line, Kat?
Yeah, for sure. But it gets kind of loud. So I'll go line by line here. Yeah, for sure has the same sound. For sure. For sure. Yeah, for sure. But it gets kind of loud. But it gets kind of loud. But it gets kind of loud. Kinda is a little. It gets a little loud. It gets kind of loud. So, but it gets kind of loud. Why don't you grab us becomes why don't you? Why don't you or why don't you? Why don't you grab us the table outside? Why don't you grab us the table outside? The do not, why do not you? That sounds so bizarre to say. Why don't you? Why don't you? Meaning, maybe you should do that. Why don't you grab us the table? Why don't you grab us the table outside? So we can actually hear each other. Hear each other. So we have each other. Hear each other. Hear each other. There's a lot in that one. I hope that wasn't too confusing.
Okay, so here's the second listen, and we think you'll understand a lot more this time around. So here we go.
I'm going to grab the first round. Beer, wine, Coke?
A beer, please. Whatever they have on tap.
I'm not really drinking tonight, so I'll probably just grab a soda.
You think they'll have live music tonight? They did last weekend.
Yeah, for sure. But it gets kind of loud. Why don't you grab us the table outside? We can actually hear each other. Okay, ready for some speaking practice? If you want to practice your speaking, you can respond to my questions. So we'll leave a short pause for you to respond, and don't worry, we'll leave the captions on for you. I'll start. I'm going to grab the first round. Beer, wine, Coke? I'm not really drinking tonight, so I'll probably just grab a soda. Yeah, for sure. But it gets kind of loud. Why don't you grab us the table outside so we can actually hear each other?
Okay, very nice. Now it's your turn to ask the question. So you'll start the speaking practice this time. Beer, please. Whatever they have on tap. You think they'll have live music tonight? They did last weekend. Okay, excellent work once again. You've now had a nice discussion with a friend at a bar or in a pub. So, again, for the study pack, if you have that, the separate individual dialogue, just the dialogue, is available if you want to listen to it again and again, so you can really start to get used to these blended, contracted, connected sounds. So let's move on to episode 11 of this review. Episode 11 was away from the bars and restaurants. We went back home, and episode 11 was household chores. So Kat will describe what she does at home with her American accent.
Since I usually have more free time, the weekend is when I catch up on all the chores I missed out on over the week. By Friday, the house is kind of a mess with my stuff everywhere, so I usually start by picking up things off the floor. Once everything's picked up and I've cleared off the tables, I get the vacuum out and start vacuuming up all the dust in little bits. We've got tile in the house, so I like to give it a quick mop in the common areas like the kitchen, bathroom, and the living room. Doesn't have to be spotless, just enough to feel clean. All right, so it's Mark's turn with his British accent.
I usually tackle all my chores at the weekend when I've got a bit of free time. By the end of the week, my house is a bit of a tip and my stuff is all over the place, so I usually get started with some tidying up. Once everything is off the floors and the tables, I start hoovering up all the dust, making sure I get into all the nooks and crannies behind the furniture and in the corners. Next up is probably the kitchen, so that involves doing the washing up, and I'll also give the surfaces a good wipe down, take the bins out, and make sure the place is spotless, so I can finally sit down and enjoy the clean space while I can. Okay, so again, if you're unfamiliar with chores, or if there were any vocabulary phrases or words in those scripts that were difficult, or if you'd just like a refresher, you can always go back to episode 11 and check out the full episode and all the explanations.
So now we're on to the naturally spoken dialogue. This conversation would probably be between a parent and their child, maybe two roommates, or a couple who might be complaining or venting about the chores they need to do around the house.
What's going on here? The place looks like a tip. There's stuff everywhere.
Okay, look, I know it's kind of a mess, but I just haven't had any time this week to clean anything up.
Yeah, I think we need to make some time today to get everything tidied up.
Okay, I get it. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out.
All right, and I'll do the washing up and take the bins out.
Now, let's break down the conversation, highlighting some interesting speaking and pronunciation tips so you can improve your speaking and listening skills. Mark started the dialogue, so let's hear his first line again.
What's going on here? This place looks like a tip. There's stuff everywhere. So, what's gone on here?
British, very British.
Right. Yeah, it's also the present perfect. So, what's, that is what has gone. So, what has gone on here? What has happened here? Like, since I last entered the room, what has happened? This is a British phrase, as Kat said, gone on. You can hear how the N in gone jumps to the next word because it's a preposition. Gone on. What's gone on here? This place looks like a tip. Again, a few dialogues ago, I mentioned that TH in this and that becomes very soft. So this place, it's such a small sound. This place looks like a tip. A tip is a big mess. This place looks like a tip. There's stuff everywhere. Stuff and everywhere connect. Everywhere. Stuff everywhere. So what's going on here? This place looks like a tip. There's stuff everywhere. And then, how did you respond to that?
Okay, look, I know it's kind of a mess, but I just haven't had any time this week to clean anything up. I know it's kind of a mess. I know it's kind of a. Now, you heard earlier something kinda. It's kind of good. It's kind of bad. But because the next word starts with a vowel, we don't want to say kinda a mess. Kinda a mess. That doesn't quite work. So we need to bring back the word of. Kind of a mess. Oh, this restaurant is kind of good. It's kind of a mess. Kind of a mess. But I just haven't had any time. Haven't had. Notice I didn't say haven't had. It just doesn't run together very well. Haven't had. Haven't had. Now, you know it's the negative because I am saying the n, haven't had. I have had time. I have had time. I haven't had any time. I haven't had any time this week to clean anything up. To clean. To clean. Often the word to, T-O, is a very little word, especially connected to a verb. So I haven't had any time this week to clean anything up. To clean. To do. To clean anything up. To clean anything up. All right, Mark, you want to continue?
Yeah, I think we need to make some time today to get everything tidied up. So, yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. I think. It's another example where the TH really, really shortens and becomes so soft. I think. Yeah, I think. I think we need to make some time today. Yeah, I think. Again, like Kat just did with to clean, we need to make. Yeah, I think we need to make some time today. TO are the first two letters of today, but it's not today, it's today. Today. So exactly the same way, even when it's a separate word. To make, to clean, today. Yeah, I think we need to make some time today to get everything tidied up. There's twos everywhere. To make, today, to get, get. Famously, the T at the end changes to a D, so it's get everything, tidied up. Tidied up. Again, the last letter of tidied jumps to the next word. Dup. Tidied up. Yeah, I think we need to make some time today to get everything tidied up. Okay, and how did you respond to that one?
Okay, I get it. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out. Okay. I get it. I get it. So I get it means I understand. I get it. I get it. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out. I'll clear off. Clear off. I'll clear off the tables. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out. Often when we are connecting two verbs like this, clear and get. Clear and get, the word and in the middle becomes an n. Clear off the tables and get the vacuum out. Clear off the tables and get the vacuum out. Vacuum out and get the vacuum out. So one more time. Okay, I get it. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out. All right, let's finish it up, Mark.
Right, and I'll do the washing up and take the bins out. So just, last, and all right, all lose the T at the end. So all right, all right. The T stops here. All right. All right, I'll do the washing up and take the bins out. Again, we've got another example of TH becoming like a D or so soft. I'll do the washing up. The washing up. I'll do the washing up. It's so soft. Again, it's sometimes hard to catch. I'll do the washing up and take the bins out. Again, the before bins. I need the article because it's just the bins in the house, in the kitchen, but take the bins out. The washing up and take the bins out. It's almost not there. All right, I'll do the washing up and take the bins out. Okay, so now we've gone through the dialogue again. Here's your second listen with the captions as well, but you should understand a lot more the second time around. What's going on here? This place looks like a tip. There's stuff everywhere.
Okay, look, I know it's kind of a mess, but I just haven't had any time this week to clean anything up.
Yeah, I think we need to make some time today to get everything tidied up.
Okay, I get it. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out.
All right, and I'll do the washing up and take the bins out.
All right, are you ready for some speaking practice? If you want to practice your speaking skills, you can respond to the first line. We'll leave a short pause for you to respond to Mark this time, and don't worry, we'll leave the captions on for you. So Mark will start, and you will say my part.
What's going on here? This place looks like a tip. There's stuff everywhere. Yeah, I think we need to make some time today to get everything tidied up. All right, and I'll do the washing up and take the bins out. Okay, so now it's your turn to start the dialogue. Are you ready?
Okay, look, I know it's kind of a mess, but I just haven't had any time this week to clean anything up. Okay, I get it. I'll clear off the tables and get the vacuum out.
Okay, very well done. So we're on to the very last episode of this review. There's one more to go, and the last one here is episode 12, which was about running errands. Just like last time, Kat will talk about running errands, that's tasks outside of the house, and she'll go first with her American style and accents.
All right, well, today's to do list is pretty packed. First off, I need to hit the grocery store for some essentials like milk and eggs. I really can't forget that one, or we won't have anything for breakfast. After that, I'll drop by the post office to send out a package. Then there's a quick stop at the pharmacy for a prescription refill. In the afternoon, I'm planning to donate some old clothes at the thrift store. And if I manage to squeeze in some extra time, I'll return a couple of overdue books to the library. By then, the kids should be home from school, so I'll need to head home and start getting dinner ready. Okay, now it's Mark's turn with his British style.
Well, today's schedule is looking rather full on. First thing, I've got to nip to the supermarket for some essentials, especially milk and eggs, as we get through them so quickly. Then it's off to the post office to post a parcel. After that, I need to make a quick stop at the chemist for a prescription. In the afternoon, I'm planning to drop off some old bits and bobs at the charity shop. If there's a moment to spare, I'll pop into the library to return a couple of books that are overdue. By the time that's all done, the kids will be back from school, so I need to dash home and start prepping dinner. Just a typical day, really. Okay, so as another reminder, this is a review of episode 12. So if you're a little confused or have any doubts about the vocabulary you just heard, there is a full-length episode where we explain everything in episode 12 of season 1.
Now we're on to the naturally spoken dialogue. This is a conversation you might use when talking to a partner or a couple are talking about running some errands that they need to run during the day. We're out of milk. I think I have time to hit the supermarket after I drop the kids off.
Oh, well, I could nip in if you want. I was already planning on heading over there to grab some tea.
Perfect. Okay, that gives me time for a quick stop at the post office to drop off this package.
Do you squeeze in a bit of time to pick something up for me at the pharmacy?
Could you do it? I really don't have a lot of extra time today.
Okay, hopefully you caught some information there without the captions. But if it was tricky, don't worry, we're about to break down the conversation like usual. So Kat began this time. What was your first line again?
We're out of milk. I think I have time to hit the supermarket after I drop the kids off. We're out of milk. If you are out of something, that means that something is finished or you don't have any more of it. Out of becomes outa. We're out of milk. We are out of milk. We're out of milk. I think I have time to hit the supermarket after I drop the kids off. I think I think I have time. I think I have time. I think I have time to hit the supermarket. I think I have time to hit the supermarket after I drop the kids off. Now, in English, the DR sound, drop, sounds like a J. Drop the kids off. Drop the kids off. We're out of milk. I think I have time to hit the supermarket after I drop the kids off. Your turn, Mark.
Yeah, drop is exactly the same in the UK as well. Drop, drive, dry. The DR is also a J. Yes. Anyway, my line. Oh, well, I can nip in if you want. I was already planning on heading over there to grab some tea. So, quite a British phrase from the podcast. I can nip in. I can nip in. But because we're speaking quickly, I can nip in. The P joins the next word. Pin. I can nip in. That means I can visit quickly, just 5 minutes in and out. I can nip in if you want. If you want, the letter I on if disappears. If you want, I can nip in if you want. I was already planning. This time where was, the Z sound or Z sound joins the next word too. I was already. I was already planning on heading over there to grab some tea. Again, we've got a case where the G on planning disappears. Planning. I was already planning. So now the G is gone. The N joins the next letter. Planning on. I was already planning on heading over there to grab some tea. Same thing with heading. The G disappears. The N joins the next word. Heading over. Planning on, heading over. Oh, well, I can nip in if you want. I was already planning on heading. Oh, well, I can nip in if you want. I was already planning on heading over there to grab some tea. Okay, how did you reply to that line?
Perfect. Okay, that gives me time for a quick stop at the post office to drop off this package. Now, instead of saying the word perfect, I probably would drop the T a little bit. Perfect. Okay, that gives me time for a quick stop. For a quick stop. At the post office. That gives me time for a quick stop at the post office. At the post office. Instead of at the, we're going to blend those two together. At the post office. And even in American English, I can hear it now. The post office becomes more of a post office. To drop off this package. Okay, that gives me time for a quick stop at the post office to drop off this package. So you can see how each consonant connects over to the next vowel. Drop off, stop at, post office. So you can hear it now, that connection from word to the next word, if it starts with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y.
My next line was, could you squeeze in a bit of time to pick something up for me at the pharmacy? So, could, we mentioned this a long time ago at the beginning of this episode. Could you? Could ya? It's a case where the D and the Y on do you, did you becomes a J sound. We have D and U, J. Could ya? Could you squeeze in a bit of time? A bit of time. We have a fast phrase with a T, so often that T becomes a D. That's the end of the word bit. A bit of time. A bit of time. This is similar to kind of becoming kinder. Bit of, bidder, a bidder. A bit of time to pick something for me at the pharmacy. To pick something up for me at the pharmacy. So, could you squeeze in a bit of time to pick something up for me at the pharmacy? How did you respond to that one?
So you asked, could you? And I'm going to say it back to you. Could you? Could you do it? I really don't have a lot of extra time today. Could you? I think, Mark, yours is a little bit more of like a could you? And mine's more of a could you?
I think that's true. Yeah. Could you? Did you?
And also,
you is a.
I'm putting a little bit more emphasis on my you because I'm giving the sentence back to you, right? Could you do it? Could I do it? No. Could you do it? So you can hear that emphasis through the pronunciation. Could you? I'm sorry. Could you do it? I really don't have a lot of extra time today. Ooh, this one's a good one. I really don't have. I really don't have. I really don't have. Have a lotta. I really don't have a lot of extra time today. I really don't have a lot of extra time today. A lot of time, a lot of extra time. So a lotta, if we're going to move on to the next consonant, a consonant, sorry, a consonant, a lot of extra, a lot of time. Hope that helps.
Okay, so now you should be ready for your second listen. And yeah, you should be able to understand a lot more now that we've gone through it. So here we go.
We're out of milk. I think I have time to hit the supermarket after I drop the kids off.
Oh, well, I can nip in if you want. I was already planning on heading over there to grab some tea.
Perfect. Okay, that gives me time for a quick stop at the post office to drop off this package.
Could you squeeze in a bit of time to pick something up for me at the pharmacy?
Could you do it? I really don't have a lot of extra time today. All right, so are you ready for some speaking practice? This one is full of connected speech. So if you want to practice speaking, you can respond to my first line. I'll ask the question and get us started. We'll leave a short pause for you to respond. And don't worry, we'll leave the captions on for you. We're out of milk. I think I have time to hit the supermarket after I drop the kids off. Perfect. Okay, that gives me time for a quick stop at the post office to drop off this package. Could you do it? Really don't have a lot of extra time today.
Okay, very well done. Now it's your turn to start the conversation. So you'll start the practice, this time taking cat's lines. Oh, well, I can nip in if you want. I was already planning on heading over there to grab some tea. Could you squeeze in a bit of time to pick something up for me at the pharmacy?
All right, excellent
Yeah.
job, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for working so hard studying and practicing with us in these review classes. We've been reading all of your comments and your feedback to make these classes and our season 1 podcast episodes better for all of our students. We'll be back very soon with the next review sessions and season 2 next week. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Thank you, high level listeners. We will see you next time. Bye bye.